Now we're live. Okay, good. Hello, I'm Brian Brown. I'm at Horizon Learning Connection, and I'm going to be teaching a course on CPR. I was talking to this young lady here today from Jamaica. Her name is Cynthia. Can I see your name, Cynthia? Good. She's tall and beautiful. Jamaicans are the most beautiful people. They are. I have a bottle of kombucha. This stuff is good. You could brew this yourself. It's made from a fungus. I figured that out the other day. I was in Somerville with some good folk. And it's good for your gut. It has stuff for your gut flora. You know, let me see where it says that. It has probiotics, but it also lists the type of bacteria which actually feeds your gut and creates, if you have depression, your gut is regulated by the content of bacteria. And serotonin is one of the most important neurotransmitters, or I guess it's called a base neurotransmitter. It's so important. And if you have the right gut bacteria, if you drink kombucha, and we can make this, it's very cheap to make, but it's very expensive to buy. This shit, I'm broken. This cost me too much. So, but we can make this, and it's good for your gut. And if you have any type of depression or any type of imbalance in your gut with some type of digestive disorder, try kombucha. And there's other herbs and stuff that will help you out. All right. So before they give you a pill to go to the pharmacy, try drink a little kombucha, a little ginger. This has ginger in it and pineapple, and it tastes really good. And here's the other thing. I'm diabetic. I can't have a lot of sugar. Look how much sugar this whole bottle has, and then compare it to your soda. I want you to look and see how much sugar. How much sugar does that have? Right? And then it tells you what kind of bacteria also. So kombucha is very easy to make. It's expensive to buy. It's one of those things that it's a class thing, I guess. You know, it's in Whole Foods, and when it's in the store, it's expensive. I can't afford it. I just bought it. It's fermented. So fermented foods are very good. I'm not preaching, but on that note, we're going to start off the CPR class. So I put the title up there, and it says, Life Never is Over. So one of the main things in CPR is remembering that life is, even if the signs of life are not there, the brain continues to operate. And one of the most important things that all of us need is when we breathe in, my Jamaican sister, when we breathe in, what's the most important thing we're getting for our brain?
Oxygen.
Oxygen, O2. O2 is the oxygen. O2, it's so important. Breath control. So, I'm going to say this. Hi. I'm sorry. I know I was looking at my stuff. I scared you there. I'm live on a thing. So I'm doing my movie thing. Margie just came in. We're at 617-296-2700. We have a good class, a good list of class here. Hold on one second. Sorry, Cynthia. Cynthia, no one else came, Margie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know. So we have a list of classes.
No, Cynthia has to see me with us.
I know, so I got it too. I'm going to take care of her. So Cynthia came already, and she's going to get a discount on her class. It's going to be $65 US. But these are the list of classes that we have. They're very, very affordable. And if you want, call today, right now. We'll give you all the information. 617-296-2700. Okay? Back to what I was saying about life is that life isn't over. So you have to remember that breath controls everything. Breath will lift your energy to the excuse me. Breath will elevate your energy just by changing the deepness of. You breathe in your whole lung, you're gonna get more air to your brain, you're gonna think clearer. So I walk a mile to get here every day just to clear my head. So when I get here, I could be smart and not going forgetting things, because you know, I did this several times already, but I'm just refreshing how I do. Because my intention, truthfully, is to convey information that's very important to people, and I have no accreditation at all, except I'm certified to teach CPR. But I do go on the internet, and I find the best practices that keep people healthy, and I'm trying. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying. I'm dying, and I'm trying. Okay, I have a deadly disease too, and I'm fighting it really bad. So I'm eating, I'm trying the foods, I'm doing the exercise, I'm avoiding the stressful people in my life, you know what I mean? And, you know, and I'm trying to balance things together. So I have a beautiful Jamaican lady who needs to learn CPR. Oxygen goes to your brain. So the brain, let's draw the brain in blue. Blue's good. Oxygen. So our big brain, we're one of the mammals, one of the biggest brains. We don't use it half the time. Because you look at how things are designed and it's crazy. All our stress is created by bad design. Everything in the street, all that traffic, all the inefficiency, they call it entropy. It makes people rich. Hey, make it, tell them to eat the wrong foods, they'll get sick. And then we create an industry where we have to teach people how to wipe ass and stuff like that. It's crazy, but that's the fact. So on that note, if you don't want to end up having CPR performed on you, change what you're eating. Get some exercise. Go to the gym. Hang out with people who are moving. If they're doing bad things, avoid them like the plague. All right? All right, oxygen to the brain. So it's your big brain. Mammals have brains that need oxygen, and our brain needs a lot of oxygen. So one of the first things that we should do as a first responder is make sure our brain is oxygen. Because if we ran in, Cynthia, imagine we run into a scene and somebody's on the floor, and the first thing we do is, oh God, it will die. Like yelling that. That's crazy. Like nothing's gonna get done. That's all that energy, yelling and all that, nothing. So even if it's your mother, parent, whatever, you gotta take a deep breath and you gotta relax, right? That's gonna keep us calm. Deep breath is gonna keep the oxygen to our brain, and then we have to say, all right, I took the course, or even you watched it on the screen several times. You can watch this over and over. I took the course. I'm confident I could do this. Let's go. And it might be a horrible scene. It might be blood, vomit. It might be wounds. It could be electrocution. Somebody could be electrocuted. Somebody could be burnt, and their heart stops. So they're not going to be pretty on the ground. They're going to be horrible, Yeah. I had a friend. I call him a friend. He was so friendly. A guy named Mark came here to the class, and he was playing tennis with his partner, who was his security partner. They're armed security, so these dudes supposed to be fit. But he was playing. He said they've been playing for 2 years, and one day his friend fell down and just was out. And when he went over, he had to jump over the net. And he said first some people were all on him, getting in the way, doing nothing. So he took a course. He was getting recertified. He sat right there, and I have the whole video. I'm gonna learn how to edit so I can cut his story into it. But his friend fell down, cold dead. No, he didn't know about the heartbeat, but he said when he first looked, his eyes were just like he was frozen. So from playing tennis, mid-stroke, to on the ground. And he took the course, and he knew. He said the first thing he did, he was gonna panic and scream, but he saw everybody else acting a fool, and he said, hey, he moved him out the way, and he was like calling the guy's name, like, Billy, you're gonna be okay. So another thing, you gotta be positive when you revive somebody. Yeah, he was positive. But me, I'll tell a personal story. I've had instances in my life where people were incapacitated and had no sign of life. Because CPR is only for when you have no sign of life. If they're moving around, you do something else, and we'll do that later on. But if you have a person where you find them unresponsive, and it could be, I'm touching babies, because this is a baby doll right here. It could be anyone who is, you see them still. The stillness, you're not seeing any signs of life. You could look from a distance and you could see that they're on their back or they're slumped in a chair, so you have to be cautious because in addition to having to be able to ascertain if they're alive, what if they're faking? You're from Jamaica, right? So it's a good place, but there's poverty. So anywhere there's poverty, there's a lot of robberies and stuff, right? So that's one of the ways they try to rob people. So on top of being trying to save this person, you got to make sure your security is first. So meaning that if you saw somebody on the ground, you'd have to say, is this a real situation or somebody playing around? You have to check on your security. It's a reality of life. People get robbed. So the first thing I would do was, if I was from a distance, I'd use my voice, but I could also, you have one, use that cell phone. Yeah, just from a distance. Just be like, you know what? Before I even try to touch them or even yell, I'm gonna say 911. I'm at 1601 Blue Hill Avenue, Suite 205, and someone's on the ground. All right, make sure you tell them the address. Hang that up, and now we're gonna start our steps to approaching the person. What do you think is one of the first things we could do?
Pardon?
What's one of the first things we do after we make that call, just to see the person on the ground and see if they're awake? Know what I'd do from a distance?
See if they
No, but no, you don't even have to touch them. I was touching my voice to say, if they were on the ground way over there, what would I do?
To see the airway.
No. I got 2 eyes from here. I don't even have to touch you. I already looked around. I'm safe. So from here, what could I say? If I was mad at somebody, I said, yo! You yell and see if they respond to that. I yell from here. I could say, if I don't know their name, I just go, yo! You know, and I look at them or whatever. Or if I know the name, I say, Mary! You'd say, you know, I wouldn't yell like that because it's, but I say, Mary! And then, you know, so from a distance, you could try to alert them, and if they're still not moving, that's when you go close. All right? So that's only after you checked on your own security. So if you're a healthcare worker, usually you have some gloves. So I'm gonna say that too. If you keep gloves in your, I guess they have if you worked in a nursing home, they'd have a box with a first aid kit. And if you have access to that, you should get gloves, because just in case, there's all kind of fluids. There's like it could be saliva, blood, sweat, urine. You go into the list. There could be something all over the person, especially in a healthcare setting. They could fall off a toilet, and you're dealing with a whole bunch of stuff. So you'd always have gloves, and you'd protect yourself with gloves. And in some instances, they might even have one of these things here too. So it'll be a kit. All right.
What's this called?
This is called a face shield. So it has a picture on there with actually 2 fingers that pinch together. You can see it has a picture on there. I'll let you have it. And so that's a face shield. And they should have that inside any type of kit that's an emergency kit. If they don't, you always have the option. If you don't want to perform the respiratory part and it looks too, like if somebody was contagious and you were in the hospital, you could say you wouldn't want to do it. I mean, I don't know. It could be a victim who had a massive wound in the face, and you just can't do it too. I didn't even think about that, like a car accident. If they had, what if their face got smashed in and you couldn't do the breaths? And I never thought about that, and I never asked that in class. So I'm gonna put in a link. I'm gonna find out what do you do if somebody's like their jaw could be missing, So in that instance, anyway, you come in. You're gonna from a distance. You're gonna yell really loud, like Bobby. Mary, if you don't know them, you could use yo, hey, but anything to make sure that if they were awake, that would awake them. I mean, if they were unconscious, but just sleeping or passed out drunk, they would move or awake. You'd think they would. So if someone was on the ground, I'm gonna leave this one here and just use. If someone was on the ground and you could approach them, I wouldn't approach them from under their armpit. This side right here. Like if I was gonna approach, I wouldn't come from this direction right here, or even on the sides, because someone's arm. Say I came from here, they could, you know what I mean? They grab me and say, "Hey, I got her," and then they rob you or do whatever. Or if they were drunk or something like that. So I always say approach from this top side right here. You turn it. And you could control them just in case they try to grab you and run off. Or this is if they're on the ground. I'm not gonna get on the ground now. I didn't stretch it.
So, for example, you're doing with someone at home, where you don't have to be scared about if there's someone going to rob you or stuff like that. For instance, you're taking care of a sick person.
So you say Mary or your mom, or say I don't want to say your mom. All right, you say whoever's on the ground. You say call their name, and they should respond, right? Like
And if they don't respond, what you do?
Then you're getting closer, but you call. So you just for someone fine. So then you got to get up on them. You know the person. You're gonna get right there, and you're gonna look and say, "Oh my God!" And you're gonna look for signs of life. You're gonna look right up on their face, and if while they're on the ground, if you're looking at them, you're looking for signs of life, like breathing. So you can put your head here. This is your family. You put it right there. No matter what was on them. You're looking for the chest to go up and down. If you don't feel breath on your face and you don't see any rise in there, that's a sign that this person is in cardiac arrest. And you don't hear anything, I'm sorry. You can even listen. So I have the stethoscope on me. If you listen to them and there was nothing going on, it's like, the heart has to beat. So that's when the time kicks in and the oxygen to the brain. So in an instance, this person could have been eating and they could have a mouthful of food, So I'd have my gloves on just in case. They could have a mouthful of food, or they could have been throwing something up and choke on it. Jimi Hendrix died from choking. I make clothes. It looks like Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix. I make these shirts. I want to teach art. I'm telling you, it's killing me. I'm having stress from not making art, believe it or not. It's killing me not to make art. Because this is the type of stuff I do, and it's like I'm sitting here teaching CPR. It don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So if you want one of these custom made, these are about $600. And the whole amount of money is going to a windmill project that I'm doing in several locations around the world. And I'll show you the wind turbine. I built one already. So I'm late in life. I got real sick. Anyway, Jimi Hendrix died on his vomit. So you could choke on vomit and go into cardiac arrest. So you have to put on gloves. Did I link that in good? You see how I did that? Y'all like that? You know what I linked the art into? I don't know. I hate to sell myself. I'm not so
Whenever time doing CPR, you have to put on gloves?
I mean, so you just said a family member. So a family member, I tell people they could have poo-poo all over them. I don't care. I'm gonna, you know what I mean? It's your family. It's like, some people throw up poop too, you know that, right? Not to be disgusting, but sometimes you could have a bowel obstruction and you could throw up poop and then go into cardiac arrest. Imagine that. So that's the time where I said sometimes I'm not doing it if it's not my family. But if it was my dad or somebody like that, God forbid, who just turned 80, I love him. I mean, I'll do whatever I gotta do, you know. So yeah. So the point is, you might not have gloves, right? And if it's your family member, you do it. But if you're in the hospital, and I mean, I don't know.
Working in the home.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. See, you could have a patient that you had for 10 years, and they come like family to you, and you're gonna do whatever to save them. Maybe just to keep your check going. I'm just joking. But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I just want to know the right procedure.
Yeah. No, so the right procedure is, if you have gloves, always wear gloves. But what's the reality? You have gloves right now? No. And you're like, no. So you're gonna stand there and be like, I don't know. You have to, yeah. So if they had food in their mouth, you have the option to take your finger, gloved or not gloved. It should be gloved. If it's a loved one, it could be. It don't matter. You're gonna put your finger in there and get whatever you see. Get it out as much as you can, and then you're gonna take your hands and you're gonna lift under the chin. Like in this picture, it almost shows you. It puts the it shows you the fingers going like this. So these two fingers are all you need to lift the head back after you cleared it out just now. Okay, it's going real fast too. It's not like I'm moving slow so you understand. So the step is your security. I'm gonna go back through it, and then we check from a distance. Hey, and then we get closer, and I skip something. You also, after you get close like this, we're going into the family one. So family one is just like, you know, they're not breathing, but just also if it was someone you think, you know, was under the influence, give them some good slap, not slaps, but make sure it's not, you know, that's not going to do it. It has to, and you hit your shoulders and you'll wake them up. So, and that's still, if they still didn't do anything from that, we're at that point. Gloves are on, and we're in a professional setting now, even though you said family. Family, do what you got to do. Put your finger in the mouth. Dig out what's in there. You look in there. If there ain't nothing up in there, pull the chin down, and we're going to give 2 breaths. But before we do that, we're going to put this on. And this is the face shield. If you have one. If you don't have one, hey, if the person's face is ripped off in a car accident, you can't do this. But they're still alive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that's still alive. Yeah, they're still alive. Their brain could be alive, but their face could be ripped off. And then my class didn't say what you do in that instance. Their face could be shot off. You know what I mean? I've been in people who had their face shot off. I've been in. I mean, I know people who had their face shot off. That's what I'm saying. So, you know, and they live for a while. And then they die. So, what do you call it? So you could come up on a situation where someone's mangled and you wouldn't be able to give the breaths. And in that case, you go straight into the compressions. So the breaths, I always write it down. You got to give 2 breaths and 30 compressions. Those are 2 numbers you can't forget. What are 2 numbers you can't forget?
Give breath.
The breaths, 2 breaths and 30 compressions. So I'm going to write it down. Yeah, that's the number you can't forget. So we came in and we have a person here. We just clean out their mouth. And now we're going to give breaths. We're right at that stage right now. We did all the other stuff too. We checked the airway. What did we do before that too? Oh, we checked for signs of life. 10 seconds when you're listening to, or less. I mean, you can see if someone's not breathing, but give it like 10 seconds. Because sometimes they could go into a deep exhale and then go, you know what I mean? So yeah, give it 10 seconds. And I've seen that. Like someone will go, their breathing will go so slow, they're almost dead, but they're still alive. Junkies. That's a bad name? Junkies? addicts, people who are using opiates, sometimes will go down into a slow, the body's so slow, and then they do it, and they come up. You know, I don't shoot dope. If I did, that would be easy. So anyway, the brain here is alive. We got to keep the brain alive. So we're going to give it 2 breaths, because that's going to try to put immediate oxygen into those lungs. So we're going to give 2 breaths. You always remember, 2 breaths. And then after those breaths, we're going to give 30 breaths. We're going to give 30 compressions. All righty? Those are 2 numbers. We know there's no sign of life. The heart, we don't hear anything. Compression is 1 S, I think. I don't know, man. I didn't graduate college. That looks kind of right. So 2 breaths and 30 compressions. And we give those until when? How long do you think we do that for?
The 2 breaths and
30 compressions. We're doing that. I'm going to show you how to do it. I didn't show you yet. But there's also, just remember, the key and the title of this thing is Life is Never Over. Life is never over. If somebody tells you your life is over, you say go screw yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because I had somebody tell me that. I'm like, how my life over? How my life over? You know, in my head, I'm like, how could my life be over? So they'll tell you that. But in CPR, in physical, biological senses, life is not over. Your brain, as long as it gets the oxygen to the brain, you got that brain wants to survive. So I have a story. I say it over and over. Sonia Laksamana is the nurse. Sonia, I'm calling you out. Tell them the story. You should put a video. She's a thoracic nurse at Brigham and Women's Hospital. They do lung transplants. They had a patient who went flat after a lung transplant. So a group of nurses started doing CPR. They performed the CPR for an hour and some change. Hour and a half? I don't know. So I said hour and a half. Anyway, after that a long period of time, you look at the clock up there, and that long period of time, the person came back to life. So the title of this is Life is Never Over. We have a perpetual energy. So on a molecular level, we have mitochondria in our brain. And on a cellular level, cells want to live. So as long as those brain cells with their mitochondria are getting oxygen, that person will live and come back with no damage because they had oxygen continuously supplied to their brain. Is that right, Cynthia? Yeah. I'm like, do you understand it though? I'm talking to this, but I'm talking to you too. So.
It's kind of confusing.
Well, as long as you know to keep the oxygen going. So the question I asked you is, how long do we perform it until? And now I'm telling that story. Until when? Life is never over. How long do we do it for?
The 2 breaths
and 30 compression.
About 10 minutes, second.
So you're going to say, all right, Mom, I'm tired. I'm not doing it no more. I did it for 10 minutes. How long are you going to
keep doing it until the person revives?
Until somebody comes, until you can't do it, you should do it. Because there's stories of like, they'll pull somebody out of a lake and it will be, number one, the person was in the lake for 20 minutes, but it's cold water, I guess, or something. And then they pull them out and they're working on them for 2-3 hours. They warm them up, take them to the hospital, and you see in the video, they just, the whole time, you know, and it's the proper way, straight arms. I was doing it wrong. You gotta have your arms straight. I'll show you in a minute. But anyway, they're pounding on this person, and after, they'll say, 2 hours later, the person came back. And it's like, and they were dead. There was no life in them. So the question again, how long do we do it for? Sorry, I said it loud. I'm just saying it loud. You say it loud. So you remember, forever, till you can't do it. I always say, you know what? Do CPR until you need CPR. And I'm joking. But you'd go until you said, and you just, yeah. So it's hard to do. You're a strong woman.
So you do it until you can't do it no more.
Do it, you can't do it no more. Or until the people come. So let me tell another story. I tell this story over and over because I want to tell it better, because I have to. So I used to work for the state of Massachusetts, right? You write notes?
I'm listening.
I always ask people when they write notes, what note? I want to know what you're writing. Did you put down the 2 breaths and 30 compression?
Yeah,
That's the most important. Okay, beautiful.
That's just.
And what else? And oxygen is most important.
Yeah.
And if I was going to put a note, and also say, check your security.
We don't
first. So, you know, so it's like, and they call. So I'm missing a lot of stuff because it's just me and you today. But there's a protocol. So I'm going to erase this. What's that looking at? Can I see? I'm so far away from the board there. So I'm going to erase this. You remember that one. 2 breaths, 30.
Yeah.
Until the EMTs come, or until you say, oh, I tried, I can't do it. You know?
Until what come?
Until the EMTs, emergency medical technician. So there's the 3 C's we use. We already talked about one of them. Is you're gonna call, do some lean back yoga. You're gonna see. Can that boy sit? Look at that. I'm just trying to stretch my back at the same time. First thing we do, we call. Next thing we do after we call, we already said we went over and we checked. We went in the mouth and the check. I'm sorry, is the check first. Your security. Checking is what? Your security. Checking for if there's a cord and it was laying on the person's body. You're checking if what else? If there was a gas, you don't know about it. Sometimes somebody would be in a garage and they left the car running or something. Maybe they tried it. I don't know. Maybe by accident. But anyway, if you go in there, what's gonna happen to you? It's gonna knock you out too. You'll be 2 people. You know, you don't want that to happen. So you call first. Yep, that's your cell phone. Checking your thing, and then checking their symptoms. Checking for symptoms or life. Checking for life. They don't symptoms. Checking for life. And then the care is what we're going to give them. That's when we were giving the 2 breaths and 30 compressions. So you remember that. Call first. That's easy. Check the situation, my security, and then surroundings, and then the person with the protocol of hey, and all the try to initiate some type of response. And then the care is what we're going to be giving the 2 breaths and 30 compressions that I just erased off the board that you have banged in your head. 2 breaths, 30 compressions. Start with 2 breaths, 30 compressions. I need a little kombucha. I wish I had my own brand. I'm gonna have my own brand. You can hear me say it. I'm gonna have my own brand of kombucha, you know, and it's gonna be cheap. It's gonna be high quality, but very affordable, you know, locally made. Pulled by a bicycle. Yeah. Because you can make lollipops out of that. Not lollipops, what do you call them? Frozen, what do they call it? Cisco Pops in Jamaica? What do they call them?
What?
Cisco Pop, Jamaica. The frozen things that you buy. It's a bag.
Yeah.
What do you call it?
Kisco Pop.
Kisco Pop. Kisco Pops in Jamaica, but not with sugar. We use stevia, and we put some of this. I don't know how they make it taste so good, and it has no sugar. And it doesn't have that sucralose or that garbage. Never aspartame. Never anything with aspartame. Never use anything with aspartame. Ever. For kids or anybody. All that diet stuff, if you see aspartame, it's poison. You're going to end up with cancer. So, what am I supposed to be talking about now? So, the signs of life, call, check, care, and then oxygen has to stay in the brain. And we are going to find out how to give compressions right now. Yeah. So, I'm going to erase this again. And then we're going to draw again. I need to stay drawing. Is the drawings effective? I'm trying to keep the drawings effective because I have people who sometimes don't speak English, and I'm trying to, point to stuff, and I think I'm not talking, they're not understanding it sometimes. So that was the person's head. So what we're going to draw, there's a heart over there. Well, I'm just trying to, in sequence. Oh, I know the position. So now we're going to turn this, so this person's on their back. This is a human being. Right? His feet. Calf, buttock, that goes like that. Trying, head, boom, eye. And then, so in here, about this position, where the nipples are. Those are nipples. Let's do it in the gym. Yeah. That's like kind of like me, because I have very long arms. Did you notice that? I kid you not, look. Isn't that crazy?
I have long arms.
You have long arms too? Yeah, it's like, I don't know. So I do a lot of hanging stuff. I go in the gym and I do the hanging stuff because they said we evolved. I'm not saying that, there's always racist stuff that says, oh, blacks and monkeys. But it ain't about blacks, it's about human beings in general. They evolved, they grab stuff, And a lot of people have weak grip now, and it's like, it feels good. I try to lift the weights and it hurts, but I can sit there and just hang all day. It's like, it's natural, So I don't know, it's good. Not all people, you can rip up your shoulder, you gotta do it slowly. So you don't even have to hang with all your weight. Sometimes you could just use partial weight, you're using just, your legs are holding you up and you're just letting out some stretching. That feels good right now. I wanted to do that. I actually want to, this is a good stretch too, without taking that off. This one opens up right here. I need to do that because it was hurt. Because I was doing some arm stuff yesterday. So anyway, back to the arm stuff, and then I went to kombucha, and we're still sitting here. We're gonna do compressions the right way. And that's why I was stretching my arm up. Because it's hard work. It is. You see when we do it, it's like doing it. I don't know how they did it for an hour, but it's hard work. Especially when a person, I mean, it's just, you have to keep hoping. So I told you, I didn't tell you, I was gonna go in the story and I skipped it, is you have to stay at, one of the most important things is staying positive. You gotta stay, I'm using a plus sign big here. You gotta stay positive. You gotta stay, I mean, your thoughts, when you're doing it, you can't go over there. I said it earlier, I'm gonna say it again, and say, oh, I don't know, maybe, like you gotta know what you're doing. So your confidence level has to be to the point where you're gonna effectively save this person. You gotta be in your head, all right, this is gonna work. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, you just say whatever, whoever it is. Mary, come on, listen, you're gonna be okay. Mary. So we gave 2 breaths. The first thing we're gonna do, we take this, we put this on, right? This is going through a series, that's where I left off. And I was gonna say, stay positive. And also, when you give these compressions have to be 2 inches or more, all right? 2 inches or more for an adult, because they have a bigger body. We're trying to put
2 inches from where?
2 inches or more right between the nipples, down. We're gonna give compressions. With a downward force, we're going down. We have a pump in here. That's what the drawing was for. I was drawing muscles. And I was really supposed to put the heart is about right there. The heart is right there and off to the left, you know? So we're trying to apply force. Right?
So the heart is
the heart is in the middle of your chest, but it's a little off to the side. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a little off to the left. So we're trying to keep a constant force, or like pumping the heart to keep oxygen to the brain. Because even if there was something jammed in someone's throat, you could still keep oxygen to the brain. So as long as you don't stop, you keep it going. You don't stop and say, all right, I'm tired, and go back. I guess it would still be effective, but when the brain is deprived of oxygen, the cells die. So the longer they sit. One of the most tragic stories is Michael Jackson. And he was, you know Michael Jackson, of course, right? He was on a bed, and his doctor, supposed to be one of the best out of LA, his doctor, you know, giving him horse tranquilizers and craziness. Anyway, I'm smiling, but it's very sad that they were doing CPR on a bed. And I mean, you could imagine if you're doing CPR on a bed, it's something cushiony.
Yeah, it's got you on the outside.
Yeah, you don't get no pressure, no nothing. And that was a doctor, and they didn't do it for 5 minutes. They did it for half an hour. Like
on the bed.
On the bed, like professionals. Like that is, you know. So you go to a hospital thinking you're gonna get good care.
Yeah.
You know what they don't tell people nowadays? They were saying the #1 causes are heart attack, I don't know, stroke, diabetes, car accident. No, they're hiding the real one is medical malpractice. They won't even say it. More people die from mistakes in hospitals than all that other stuff now. And they won't say it, and it's proven. So anyway, going back to this. And it could be a medical, this could be, if someone was incapacitated, it could be caused by misdiagnosis and you know, they're actually killing the person, you know. Misdiagnosis of cancer.
Question.
Go ahead.
2 inches from the nipple, meaning from the nipple over to here?
No. So, okay, let me explain this really clearly. So the heart is in the middle of the chest. Let's just take this down, let's get simple. I put this arrow to say 2 inches or more down, and I show the nipple at the nipple. But looking at it from a down view, it's between the nipples right here. Right? So we're gonna put our hand, any hand, you could get it that way. Now I told you, you could, after you know the person's out, you can stand on the side of them. And if you stand on the side of them, I got more crap on this table. The baby's not crap, man. I was looking good with this looker. So I'm gonna use it again. If I was on the side, come on. And these are the nipples right here. I'm gonna get up on the table. There we go. So this person is incapacitated. I've checked for signs of life. I'm going to administer 2 breaths right now with this sheath on. Okay? So here we go. I'm going to tilt the head back. I already cleared the mouth. There's nothing inside the mouth. All right? So nothing's inside the mouth. I open it. I let the chin down a little bit. I'm going to give 2 breaths. I'm going to get back. Because what if they had something? I don't want their air. I'm going to clear it. They didn't tell me that in Red Cross, but I know I'm not. You know, if the chest went up, it's going to go out, and you're going to get all that foul air in there, whatever. If they had pneumonia, I don't know. I just don't want to breathe it. So I'll give another one, fast. Now, this is all going very fast. Now, at the beat of 100 beats a minute, they have a song by the, why do you have to do that? There's a reggae song, you probably know. I need to sweat my hands up. Dun, 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 party up there. Dun, 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 dun. That's 100 beats a minute right there. I was just saying a song you might have in your mouth. Murder, she wrote. Murder, she wrote. So that's a good beat. You're Jamaican. I have to give you. Otherwise, they say Saturday Night Live. Well, you can tell by the way I walk my But now you remember that beat in your head. So that's the beat we're going to do these compressions to. Between the 2 nipples. I have my gloves on, but my hands are sweating. I don't want that. Take your hand out like this. You know what I'm saying? Put your hand like this. Take your other hand. Lock your fingers up in there like that. Solid hands. Hold them out straight. You know, hold your hands out straight. All right. There goes the body right here. Between the nipples. This is going fast. 30 compressions. You got to count out loud. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 5, 6, 27, 28, 29, 30. Anything happening? Nothing happening? Okay, 2 more breaths. Lay your head back. Go to the side. Go to the side. Head was leaned back, mouth open. Do it again, right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Glasses fall off, keep going. 2, 3, 4, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Anything happening? Go back again. Now I'm out of breath already. All right. That was just 2 rounds.
So
I gotta see you do 5.
30 compression. Nothing happened. You got to do 2 breaths.
Breath again, over and over. And you see me, I'm out of breath already. You see that? That's crazy. I'm supposed to be fit. I'm supposed to, you know? And it's like, it's hard for me to do it. But people do it, and they stay alive. And know what I was missing when I was saying that? 30, you're going to make it. You know, without, you know what I mean? Like staying positive. That is so important. People don't even realize that. There's a scientific study. I have to put the link that just having that positive attitude, we should put that in our life. Just being always positive changes the situation. You know? Yeah, always be positive. If people are negative, stay away from them. They're going to drown your energy. You know, usually they're not talented. So they don't put their mind to something. So they're usually always critical, and you stay away. You hear me out of breath like that? That's crazy. That was only 2 times. And I got to see you do it 5 to get certified. You ready? See what I'm saying? It's good to stay in shape, right? You got to save people's lives. You got to have energy. So the key of this whole thing, where my glasses go, man? Is that energy is perpetual. So that positive energy, it's almost like you're putting the positive energy back into them. If they're floating off, I'm a spiritual guy. I don't know what's spiritual. I don't even know if I'm spiritual. Because now I'm more scientific. So I'm saying it like this. There's energy. We got all these radii and antennae in our bodies. There's systems of electrosystems. So it's floating away, or the system is dissipating from the mitochondria. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to understand it. But if we stay positive, we have energies that uplift our spirit and put it back where it's supposed to be. They always talk about the heart chakra. It's physical. It's very electrical. But somehow we're trying to just rebooting that electrical system in the body. We're electrical beings. And that electricity causes the pump to keep nutrients and vital elements into the brain. Oxygen is the element. O2, oxygen. So we put oxygen into the brain, it's a gas. And that keeps us alive. As long as we get oxygen, even if the throat is missing and cut, or, you know, and you're putting compression here. Usually that happens. They pump the chest. It keeps the oxygen to the brain. There are many pathways, vascular pathways. We have so many veins in our body. I mean, they run everywhere. I got veins everywhere. So, yeah. So those don't, you know, they just need pressure caused by the pump inside the chest, 2 inches down or more. You could have a really fat person now, because everyone in America's gone crazy with food. It's like, oh, we're going to eat all day. I eat once a day. Once a day. That's how you're supposed to eat. So you put your 2 hands between here and you're doing your 30 compressions. And as long as that chest is beating, the oxygen's going, and you have energy in your body, you never stop. And you stay positive that person could come back. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're dealing with a child. And I'm going to bring out the little child mannequin. And I hate to do the child thing because it's really, I don't know, I have a mind that, you know, it's very, it just put me in a place to say, what if you had to come in? That's why I tell people to watch it. What if you had to come in and a baby's not breathing? You got to pay attention, you know? So if, and it happens, they choke on a toy or something like, we'll do the choking part later. You got to learn that. But babies are small. So if we're going to do a CPR on a baby, God forbid, and the baby's not breathing, you're going to check the baby's airway with one finger. You could put on your gloves, but it's, you know, and a baby could be vomiting and all that. I'm a dude who's just a baby. I don't have time to put on the gloves. I don't have time. I'm just going to save the baby. You know what I'm saying? So unless it was Ebola or something like that, I'm like, shit. You know, but you at least could still do compression. So, okay, so I have the gloves on. Remember, you're always supposed to wear your gloves. I'm gonna pick the baby up. If baby's with the mother, usually the mother she might be panicking. So you have to make eye contact. Anytime somebody has an infant, you got to make eye contact, because if the lady or the caretaker, father, whoever it is panicking, they can be like, get away from me, man, what are you doing? You know, so you got to say, I'm training CPR. Give me the baby, please, please, okay? Once they give you the baby, put them on a hard surface. You're going to look between the baby's chest. The baby's smaller, so you can use 2 fingers. You're going to take your 2 fingers, after checking the airway with your little pinky, because the baby's mouth is smaller, if you had gloves on, you're going to lean back. You got anything out, food, vomit, whatever it is, you know, you lean back. The baby's face is so small that your mouth is big enough to, you know, it's cover both of them. So cover his nose and the mouth, so you don't need to pinch the nose. Did I say pinch the nose? I did before. With this doll, I didn't say.
You do that, but
I didn't explain. Thank you so much for whatever. I know I didn't explain that. So one step that I missed, I always miss something, is you have to pinch the nose. It showed you on this. I showed you, but I didn't show you on the mannequin. So while I'm giving the breaths, but for the baby you don't. For the adult, you would pinch the nose, all right? And slide the baby over. Let's go back. We have to backtrack. Thank you so much, Cynthia. All right. No kombucha. Let's explain this again. Why do we pinch the nose, Cynthia?
Pardon?
Why do we pinch the nose?
I don't know, but I know when you pinch the nose, you cannot breathe through.
Right. So so no air comes out. So if I breathe in, nothing will come back out. So if remember we talked about if the person was choking and their neck lifts up perfect. If there's food here, if we breathe in, and if the nose wasn't pinched, it will just flow right out. It will hit you on the face. You breathe in here, and the air will come right out the nose and hit you in the face.
So
when you pinch it, you're closing it. You blow. There's no other way the air could come out, and it goes right into the lungs. If the air's not going into the lungs, you'll know the cheeks will blow up, because they were choking. But the head's all. I gotta remember, you always keep the neck super, super long back, and you clear the mouth. And I'm gonna get some sugar, man. My sugar's dropped. I'm sorry. On camera, because I can't remember. You saw me going That's what happens. See how fast that happened? I bet you. I don't have a glucometer here, but I know it's low. This doesn't have any sugar in it. That's 8 grams. It's not enough. All right, I have some snacks in here. I'll be right back in a minute. Imagine my sugar's low. Where's some food? See, that happens. You know what happens? I don't ride a bike no more because that used to happen on a bike. I start riding a bike, next thing you know, I'm like, where am I going? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, your sugar could drop just like that. I don't like using the insulin. I'm trying to cure it. So I got to eat some sugar right now. See how my brain just went just blank like that? Oh, that is horrible, man. It was getting bad. And it's still going blank. Hold on. So you put a little sugar in your body. This doesn't have a lot either. I have to eat because I don't like putting a lot of sugar. This thing right here has 3 servings per container, 10 grams of sugar. I just need a little bit to get me going. That's all. So I had a diabetic low. I didn't check it. I should have had the glucometer and I could check it, but I didn't bring it because I was rushing. I walked a mile already there, which is 4,000 steps from there to here. Almost 4,000, I think it was. Anyway, I'm sorry. Gotta chew a little bit. So diabetes is, I think the number, I could Google it now, but I think my computer's too slow. Diabetes is the number, I'm chewing my mouth open, 3 killer in America. 3 out of 5 people have it.
How many?
3 out of 5 people have diabetes in America right now. Yeah. And all they tell you to do, they never tell you what to eat. They always tell you is to take this insulin. And I can tell you why. I can tell that with truth. They want to sue me. I went down to the Joslin. It's supposed to be the best hospital in Boston, right? So number one, I was diagnosed at 35 years old with type 1 diabetes. 35, type 1. And they said, no, well, you couldn't have it because you'd be messed up all your life. They checked. I went 8 times. It's in the books. Each time they said, we want to check again because how could you have it all your life like that? You should be really mashed up. But I always knew when I was growing up, I never ate a lot of, people eating Chinese food and they were eating 4 or 5 wings. I had 1 wing. I had 1, I knew that something was wrong when I ate. I was really tired. And they used to call me lazy and if I can pull my hair out my head and, I'm passing out. It's like, because I had diabetes all my life. I have a cousin who has it too. He just had open heart surgery. Dwayne, I love you. And it's like people don't realize how serious of a disease it is. I have wounds in my legs that ain't healing. You know what I'm saying? And it's painful. And it's like it's a joke. I'm telling you that because 3 out of 5 people have it. You're going to know somebody. I hope you don't have it. You know anybody who has diabetes? Of course. Yeah. So now I feel better that fast. I just ate a little sugar. All right. I know where I was. So these are good. They're raw. They're sprouted cookies and they have a lot of good stuff in them. So sprouted foods are so good. So I'm gonna do a class on sprouted foods. Not here. I could do it anywhere. And sprouted foods are like magic. I mean, because anytime a plant is in its young infancy, all the nutrients go into it. So eat sprouts. I know Jamaicans probably eat sprouts. Of course. We're almost done. So pinch the nose. You have to pinch the nose. If you don't pinch the nose, the air is gonna. I can't talk and eat. Hold on. I feel so much better. I was going low. All right. So it was high in one class, and now it went low. And this is so frustrating, baby. It's killing me. I don't know what to do. It's lowest, and then stress makes it go up. I could eat nothing, and somebody come around with some bullshit, and I check it, and it would be 99. They come yapping some stupidness, and then it's 500. And it's 500 for like 2 days. It won't go down. So what do you think I should do? Avoid people and stress, right? Yeah. I'm going to live in the mountains of Jamaica. You think I'm joking? In a nice tree house. It's going to be a geodesic tree house. I'm going to live up in there. I'm going to work out. I'm in a tree house, climbing every day. I make my own medicines, and that's where I'll die. You know what I'm saying? I don't want none of this fire. All these phones, and they don't even say the cancer rate. Phone usage and brain cancer, if you put the chart together, mirror each other. The government is talking about walls. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about walls, but every kid got a cell phone now, holding it to their head. And they're about to up the frequency to this new frequency, which they found already, pregnant women, it makes them miscarriage. Right? You know that's coming to Boston everywhere. It's called, it's the new, I can't remember now because it's the sugar. But this ain't no story I'm making up. It makes women miscarriage. And they're going to put it in every city, every 500 feet. We're going to have the best cell phones. We're killing ourselves. I don't want none of that. I don't have a cell phone. I don't want none of that. A transmitter near my brain? Near my brain? All right. Everything's good. I got my sugar. Sorry, I gotta be passionate because we're dying. 3 out of 5 of us have diabetes. I need a medicine every day. I don't want to end up like this. When I was in the hospital, the lady had the paddles. Over me, I almost went into cardiac arrest.
With type 1 diabetes, you don't have to do insulin.
I do. Now, with type 1 diabetes, you definitely have. I don't have a pancreas. The pancreas died. Stress is the #1 thing that causes your pancreas to overact or underact because it produces that insulin that gets you that energy. So, and when you stress people, especially Black people, we've been stressed so much that we have a higher preponderance for all these diseases. And then we have the slave diet. Codfish is a national dish of Jamaica, right?
What?
Codfish.
Codfish?
Yeah. Saltfish. Ackee and saltfish. Where does a cod live? I'm just asking a question. Where does cod live? Where does it swim?
I was told that it's living in the sea.
Yeah, but cold water, right? So how could that be the national dish of Jamaica? Poison. Salted fish every Sunday, Monday, people eat it. All that salt. And the story behind it, I'm going to say real quick, is when the slave ship came up here, dropped off Boston, we had slaves here. They said, what are we going to do with this filthy ship that had all these slaves rotting and throwing up, and 2/3 of them died in the boat, and they just thrown them over. So vomit. You could imagine the scene. They said, oh, well, when we send it back, fill it up with the cod, just salted. Because no one's eating the cod. Cod is a cheap fish. It's like, so how, you see what I'm saying? Slavery foods. Chitlins and all that. So you eat that shit, you're going to end up on a table like this, and you're going to need, I'm sorry, we're almost done. You're going to need CPR. So you pinch the nose closed. Black people got to wake up, man. Me too. We got to wake up, get it together. They're controlling us. Half my life sitting in a waiting room waiting for some fake medicine. Wake up, man. Get it together. So we're going to close the nose, and I'm happy. We're gonna
you were doing the kid.
Yeah, but I'm telling how to pinch it. But I'm saying that I just want to remember, we're going to always pinch the nose so the air does not come back out because you wasted time and it would not get into the lungs. And it's a way to verify that they are choking. And if it was a kid, your mouth would go over both. You won't need it. So if you're doing, thank you very much, Cynthia. I get off the path a little bit. You wouldn't need it, but you're supposed to have this. Put it over there. It covers, look how it even covers it. That little piece is the respirated piece too. You have to put your mouth over, that goes over any mouth. But it fits over the baby's mouth and nose. So I tilt the baby's head back however I can, make sure the mouth is open, excuse me, and 2 solid breaths again. Excuse me, sorry. Thank you, sorry.
So for the baby, you need a face shield as well?
Yeah.
Oh.
Anybody, you're supposed to have it. If you have a face shield, always use a face shield. Baby, no baby, nothing. Because disease you don't want a disease. They could have something like, they could have, I don't know how to go, I don't know. Bosh!
No.
She in another room down the hall. She'll be back. I'm going to close the door. I'm not trying to be rude.
She knows I'm coming.
Okay, good. Your mouth covers over both of them. You give 2 breaths, not as hard as you would as you do as an adult because they have little small lungs. So 2 breaths into the baby. I'm sorry this took so long, but I got the damn sugar thing. And 2 breaths the same way, and then we're going to give compressions with 2 fingers instead, right between the chest like that. All right? And it's going to be the same beat. 100 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Come on, baby. 15, 17, 18, 19, 20. You're all right, baby. 24, 25, 27, 28, 29, 30. 2 breaths. Not as hard as a dope. You blow the ears out. And then go back if nothing happened. 100 beats a minute. You go back. So that's how to do a baby. Now, sometimes through technology, there are these devices. These devices are called, you ever see one of these? Sometimes you're on a wall inside of you'll see them. Where do they put them? They'll just put them in I was in a pharmacy the other day, pharmacy in the corner, and right near the line of the pharmacy, maybe because they know people are so frustrated waiting in line for the poison. So it says, don't worry about that name, but sometimes they're in a pharmacy or whatever, and you'll see a little box. It say AED. This is an AED. And it stands for Automated External Defibrillator. Sometimes you have an internal defibrillator. They have to cut you open, usually up here, slide it in, and it beats your heart. This one is the external one in the event of emergency. That if you needed to have your heart jump started, you need one of these right here. So this is priority. So you come in. The protocol now is help. Someone's on the floor, but then you look and you say, hey, they have one of these, and Brian trained me how to use that. I remember that crazy guy. He was, So he said, grab this, and you remember. And what we do, we'd open it up if we had this on the wall, right? What's inside? I'll show you. This is what's inside. All right. So I'm opening it up, and the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna plug. I'm gonna make sure it has batteries inside of it. All right, because there's no use plugging it in.
Apply pads to patient's bare chest.
When I open it up, I saw these
pads
in it.
connector next to flashing light.
All right, and it's telling me to plug it into the flashing light. And it said bare chest, meaning if someone has a shirt on, you gotta rip that shirt on. Luckily, this guy was at the beach and his shirt wasn't on already. Yeah. So, bare chest. Whatever was on there, if I'd have my gloves on, of course, that I'm taking off because I sweat too much.
Apply pads.
To the chest.
Connector.
Hold on. Apply these pads. I open it up. I see these pads. They have some sticky stuff on the back. You see that, baby? Right? And there's a picture on. You see that picture? Okay, good. Shows you the picture. Picture look just like someone laying down.
Insert connector.
I'm waiting. Hold on, man. All right, so you're gonna peel these off. You're gonna peel this off. I'm not taking them off because we use these over and over. Then we're gonna place one on the side, how it says in the picture.
Apply pads. Insert connector.
Bang! So that's peeled off. Bang! I peeled this off. Let me turn this off for 1 second. So it said bare chest. So meaning if they had anything, get it off. If they're wet because it's electrical, what do you think we should do?
Dry the skin.
Yeah, you dry it off. So you dry it off, and there could be another problem too, though. What if they had too much hair? Yeah. So sometimes there's a little shaving thing, but if you open it up and they had a lot of hair, it's not gonna work. Remember, this has to stick to like skin. It wouldn't. I mean, you could imagine. It ain't gonna work. It has to transfer right to the skin. It has a gel on it too. So sometimes there's a little razor, and you could go in there and shave just where the pad is going. Fast. This is happening fast. Everything's fast. I've been moving slow, but you know it's fast. But not panicky. But just, I'm a professional. I learned. I had the best teacher in the world. You know, you didn't get the joke. All right. So those are on there. Now we'll turn it on like we did. Just going back how we did. I really pull this out. Let's do it again. All right. So I open this thing up, and I look inside. I see this, and I say, first thing I'm gonna do is make sure that it works, and we're listening.
Apply pads to patient's bare chest.
Put it down.
Plug in pads connector next to flashing light.
So I went in there and there was a plug with these pads. I'll plug it in right next.
Apply pads. Plug in connector.
All right, man. Hold on.
Analyzing heart rhythm.
Okay, so this is supposed to be on. He's already on.
Do not touch
I should
the
apply
patient.
pads there. Don't touch him. This is electrical. He's dry. We shaved wherever needed these things. Like on some clean
Shock
stuff.
advised.
Shock is gonna be. Hey, everybody, get back, man.
So
Charging.
You got to place the pad on before you put it
Stay clear of patient.
No, it's supposed to be. Oh yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
Deliver shock now. Press the orange button now.
Okay, so it has an orange button. It's flashing. It says it's gonna deliver shock. I know it's electrical. Everybody, get back.
Shock delivered.
He jumps.
Begin CPR.
Begin CPR. Oh wow, they got the beat for us. Get out the way. Keep the pads on. All right. So, and I do the yelling because sometimes you gotta get people out the way. It's like, yes, get out the way. You're gonna be okay. Always positive too. It's gonna be all right. Just please get back. He's gonna be okay. He's gonna be okay. Yeah, he's good. He's good. He, she. So I'm gonna turn this off.
For the pad.
The pads are what the electricity goes through. It's plugged in. Look, it's like you ever jump a car? A car? Same thing. Our heart is electrical system. So we have all this electrical energy that pumps juices and nutrients around. As long as you keep, they gave us the beat. As long as you keep this pump in the middle of our chest, the heart, I didn't draw a heart today, but right here. As long as you keep that heart pumped 2 inches down, 30 compressions, 1.5 inches on a baby or less. I told you that?
1.5 on a baby.
1.5 or less on a baby, because if you go too hard on a baby, you're gonna crack the sternum. It's horrible stories. They did more damage than, 2 fingers on a baby, 1.5 inches.
Doing the video is distracting you, so I'm not getting everything.
Go ahead, and I'll turn it off now. Thank you very much for watching. Hold on a second. Yeah. Go ahead. So, on a baby, the body's small, so you wouldn't go as hard as a big person.
That's why I do the
2 fingers too, because look, it'll be too big.
Yeah.
You could crush the baby. So, and with the breathing thing, I'm sorry, you don't have to pinch because your mouth is big enough to cover both, but you'd always tilt the head back on a baby. I didn't end it. I'm supposed to end it. But let me end it. So you got to get this. This is very important. What was I saying? That's it for the AED and CPR. Any questions? That's what I was asking. Any questions? And now there's no stress. I'm sorry, I have to do that because I have to make sure I do a good answer. I should do it on someone else's time. So, with any questions on the CPR? I have to test you. It's a lot to know. But I told you.
As I said, it was like kind of distracting because we were doing the video and.
I know. We're still. I'm answering right now. We're still doing it. I'm saying to you, so you remember 2 breaths.
Yeah, I remember 2 breaths and
30 compressions. How deep do we do the compressions on an adult?
An adult?
How deep?
2
inches or more.
2 inches or more?
Yes. And then on a baby, how much?
1.5 inches
or less.
or less.
So we got it. And then and we give 2 breaths and 30 compressions, and we never stop. Those are 2. There's numbers to remember. And then I'm gonna ask you, at what beat per minute? How fast? 100. You gotta remember that's 100. Just remember 100.
You did say that?
Yeah.
100 beats per minute?
100 beats per minute. But I was distracted because I went on long.
Yeah,
kind of
because
crazy
we're
far.
doing-
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just practiced it. I
So-
shouldn't do that on your time.
Maybe probably got to give me that whole say it over.
But I'm here. I can say no. I'm here. We can get it. You're not leaving here without knowing how to do this. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, you have to know.
So,
So
how deep, when you say how deep,
it means the depth of how far you push down. So if I'm going this way, 2 inches or more. But with the baby, it's like you don't want to go 1.5. You want to go 1.5 or less. Yeah, because there's stories I tell you they do it too hard. And you know on what type of body. Maybe up until all kids are different sizes, but maybe up until 7, you would use you'd caution. You know what I mean? Yeah. Kids are big now, so I don't know. But
what about
I didn't
kids,
even end the
like
fucking thing.
a 7-year-old? So
I'm gonna end it right now. Thank y'all very much for watching. Sorry about that. This thing won't end.